kingdom of daylight's Dauphin, dapple dawn, drawn falcon, in his riding of the rolling level, underneath him steady air, and striding high there, how he rung upon the rein of a wimpling wing in his ecstasy, then off, forth on swing. As a skate's heel sweeps smooth on a bow bend, the hurling gliding rebuffed the big wind. My heart, in hiding, stirred for a bird, the achieve of, the mastery of the thing. Brute beauty and valour and act, oh, air, pride, plume, here buckle. And the fire that breaks from thee then, a billion times told lovelier, more dangerous. Oh, my chevalier. No wonder of it. Sheer plod makes plough down silly and shine, and blue bleak embers, ah, my dear, fall, gall themselves, and gash gold vermilion. When people saw us, I could tell they felt sorry for me. Some of them were kind and offered help, while others just looked away. Then there were the ones that spoke to you like you were a dog, patted your head. Or the ones that spoke only to me, like you weren't even there. I sometimes felt like shouting or putting up a big sign. I chose him. Did I ever tell you the story of how it started? It was one of those usual busy days for a working mum of 5. I'd been up at 4 a.m. for cleaning the school and then to the supermarket shift, and Dad had been off on one of his building jobs. I don't remember where he was that day, but I remember his face when I got home. Afternoon it was. And my feet were killing me something terrible, my hands full of shopping bags. He takes them from me and says, "Sit down." So I do. Then he turns and nods at the paper on the table, our usual daily. Except the front page is a photograph of a wee boy with his face tilted up and the headline, "One Last Chance." 3-year-old Johnny is up for adoption, the article says. He needs a very special family who can cope with him because he is severely handicapped. This is Johnny's last chance, because if social services don't find a home for him this week, he will have to go into institutional care. An hour later, I'm upstairs putting away clothes when I hear Sandra get home from school. "Mum," she yells. She barrels through the door, the newspaper in her hand. "You see this?" Aye, I've already rung him up. "And so you came to us, Johnny. I can still see it. Your new dad lifting you out the car like a rag doll and laying you in your buggy, and all the kids fighting over who would push you inside. Sandra won, like she usually does, and took you to her room first, with all of us squeezing in behind. Then she pointed out her bed on one side and your cot on the other, and the window with its view of the neighbour's fence. And then a crow landed. And oh, your face, my dear. It lit up, and your eyes shot wide, and this laugh erupted out of you like fireworks and made us all cheer. And then everyone was hugging you and saying, "Do you like that bird, Johnny? Oh, welcome home, wee Johnny, welcome to us." We were told everything that was wrong with you. Cerebral palsy, epilepsy, mentally handicapped as it was called back then. We were told everything you couldn't do. Walk, speak, sit up, feed yourself, dress yourself, toilet or wash yourself. You couldn't even go to sleep for yourself, you wee monkey. Had to have one of us rub your back and sing or you'd cry. Oh, but you could do that for yourself right enough, couldn't you? Could fair cry for Scotland, my little man. But they never tell us how much you could laugh and how it would sound like birds cackling and rivers rushing and the wind whistling all at the same time. Or how you could get a whole family sliding spoons off their head because it turned you inside out with giggling. Or how good you were at hugs and cuddles, even from a wheelchair, and with they wonky arms of yours, though you loved being picked up and held best of all. And then you got too big for one person to hold you. So if lots of us were home, we'd sit on the sofa and two folks would lift you out of your chair and lay you across the laps, and we'd all have this big group hug, and it would get you laughing so much. Tears would be coursing down your face and in all our eyes. Oh, and nobody ever explained how you would make us be kind to each other, Johnny. 'Cause if we yelled or slammed doors, you burst into tears. And when your brothers thumped each other, you set up such a howling I thought the roof would fall in. No one told us you would teach us to love. No, nor how many folks would love you. I can't tell you how many teddies and knitted hats and bags of sweeties we got over the years. Or how much advice. Seems like everybody else in the whole wide world knew better than us how to look after you. Though there wasn't anybody volunteering. Oh, no. In fact, our own families had tried to stop us, said we were irresponsible to take you in when we already had 5 kids and a small house and no money. Warned us it would be stressful and tiring and difficult. And truth be told, it was. It was hard getting food down you, and all the lifting and changing and bathing and carrying was exhausting. Oh, and those broken nights. Night after night after night. Nearly killed us. And we didn't always understand you. And sometimes you got so frustrated you would scream and thrash and your wee body would go rigid and I would panic you were having a seizure. And sometimes you were. Oh, aye. We had a lot of medics charging round in those early years, let me tell you. Lots of trips to emergency, lots of social workers and nurses and physios. Then some things got easier as you grew up, while some things just got worse. Like the time your carer forgot your nappy and you were sat there in the library with everything leaking down your legs. And I mean everything. And you were 17. And the time Sandra didn't push the brake down hard enough on your wheelchair and you rolled right across the road, off in a great sweep till you hit the kerb and flipped out onto the pavement. Or the time you had a brutal seizure in the supermarket and I was there kneeling in front of you and everybody was looking and a wee girl kept saying, "Is that man dying? Is he dying?" Oh, you could have, many times. But you'd angels. No wonder of it. One day, when you were wee and so upset you could barely breathe, your dad caught you up and carried you outside and walked till you calmed down. He said it was the park that did it. The wind and the trees and the light all dappled down, and the birds. Soon as you saw the birds, you gave this big shuddering sob and the crying slowed down and you started breathing deeper. When he brought you back, you were flopped over his shoulder, fast asleep. So we took to getting you into nature as much as we could. And we kept blankets and waterproofs by the door, so if you were losing it, we could get you out quick, whatever the weather. And we started taking you places for more birds. The aviary at the zoo, a falconry display, the seaside. You would whoop and coo and your whole body would be straining in your chair, your wee twisted arms reaching out. Then we all clubbed together for binoculars for your 12th birthday, and Sandra started researching good birding spots all over the country. So we were off up to the Highlands to see the osprey catching fish, and over to the west coast where the gannets spear down into the water like missiles, and then to a forest in the Cairngorms to watch black grouse lecking. And one time we took you to a loch in Aberdeenshire where thousands of pink-footed geese rose up at dawn, and the air was filled with beating wings and bird cries and the sound of you in ecstasy. I'm sorry to say we got a hard time from some of the twitchers over the years, 'cause you're no good at keeping quiet. But most folks were understanding, and some were incredibly kind. So 2 weeks ago, for your 30th birthday, we took you to Mull for the sea eagles. Your dad with his angina, and me with my arthritis. Sandra organising and bossing everybody about, and your brothers doing the lifting. The ferry crossing was rough, and you were sick and afraid. But the couple at the B&B were just lovely, and the people at the Birdhide bent over backwards for you, Johnny. The lady told you how the eagles were wiped out here 100 years ago, but brought back from Norway in the 70s, and now thriving. How their wings are wider than a man is tall, and that their name in Gaelic, Jólar Siúl na Craine, means eagle with his sunlit eyes. She spoke to you like you had a working brain in you, just as we always had. And you listened and beamed at her, your own eyes on fire. And then we saw one, great beast riding in on the wind, wingtip feathers rippling the air, brutal beak and talons, and then, so close, those eyes. Ah, my dear, your body lurched in your chair as a cry hurled out of you and shot straight through my heart. That night, you had a grand mal seizure, and it went on, and on, and on. We were on a remote promontory on a remote island, so by the time help came, it was too late. Before they took you away, they laid your still body across our laps, and we held you, dear Johnny, for the longest time. The last time. This morning we gave you to the flames so you could rise from them. Here, now, in the kingdom of daylight at the edge of the sea, we throw your ashes high, and some fall to the blue bleak earth, some ride the waves, some rebuff the big wind. And the fire that breaks from thee then, 1,000,000,000 times told lovelier, more dangerous. Oh, my chevalier, my chosen, my child,